Hello, 'tis the week before Christmas, and time to get working on some Christmas treats. And one that's a standard in my family is the one I'm going to show you today. This is my great-grandmother's recipe for Scotch shortbread. And the notebook that my mom kept of family recipes says that this is the recipe that my great-grandmother always gave away to all the men in the family. She'd give one piece of Scotch shortbread to each, but these are, well, you'll see in a minute, these are not standard size cookies. These are larger than standard size cookies. So let's get started, and I'll show you the ingredients first. This is a full pound of butter. Then we've got a cup of sugar. We're going to use 4 cups of flour and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And the final optional ingredient is about a teaspoon of caraway seed. That's only going to go into maybe one of them. It won't be a full teaspoon. Probably be about a 1/2 teaspoon. That'll only go into one of them. Just one of the Scotch shortbreads, the one for me. So there's our ingredients. I've got the oven preheating to towards 350 degrees. And now let's get started with this process. Okay, we will, the first thing to do is just to start to cream the butter. So, and then to that, we're going to add the salt, and the sugar. Set that down for a second. And we want to just get the salt and sugar completely integrated with each other. And the problem is it sticks to the sides. But not much we can do about that. That looks pretty well integrated to me. I'm going to turn it off and start adding flour and then turn it back on again, because I don't want it going all over the place. Now I'm going to take out about 1/4 of this, form it into a ball. And the goal here is to make a cookie, an oversized cookie, if you will, about 6 inches around and a 1/2 inch or so thick. And I pre-greased this cookie sheet here, so now, as I said, I like caraway seed in this, and I have no idea whoever came up with the idea of doing that. But there's about somewhere between a half and a full teaspoon of caraway. And I'm just going to mix this in by hand. And the final step is just a little bit of, I don't want to call it decoration, but we just use a fork on the edges to squish them down and get a little fork texture. Just to help tell them apart, I put an extra fork texture in the top. They go into the oven then for, the recipe says 30 minutes, but I've learned from experience that not all ovens are the same. Even my own gets finicky at times. So I'm going to set the timer for 25 minutes and check on them because I do not want them to overcook. Up here and look at me. I absolutely don't want these to overbake. If they start to, they've got to be a very light golden brown. And if they go much beyond that to start getting a real brownish color to them, you might as well throw them away because they're burned. They don't have to look burned, they just have to look brown, and they're too far. It's got to be just a really light golden color, and that's the end of it. So we're going to let these sit in the oven now for 20-25 minutes, take a look at them, and then decide whether or not they need to go further. Alrighty, they have been in by the timer just a hair over 27 minutes. And as you can see, they're just, get that up where you can see them, lightly golden. So we'll set them over to cool for a few minutes. They're going to cool on the cooking pan for a little bit, and then I'll move them to a cooling rack. But that's the next step. They're out. They look just about right to me. So there we go. And there we are. That's the finished product. It's been sitting on the cooling rack for 20 minutes or so now after I took it out of the oven. And time for the taste test. I broke off a piece. This is exactly as I remember it. I get this once a year. It's fantastic. Highly recommend it. This is my great-grandmother Lisk's recipe. No idea where she got it, but Scotch ShortBread's been around since forever. It's as old as the hills. This is just one family's recipe, but I think it's fantastic. So, there you go. Try this if you want a Christmas treat, or any other time of the year, but it's especially good at Christmas. And thank you for watching my videos, and Merry Christmas to everybody. And if you like my channel, please subscribe. Bye-bye and Merry Christmas.